If I could go back in time and change anything, I would stop myself from forgetting my RuneScape password. I was 99 woodcutting, had a skill cape. I was so sick. I would go into the wilderness and not be scared of anything, so I could take all the fucking things on, like the ghosts and the skeletons and shit. I had ultimate power in that world. And then one day I just didn't log on and then forgot my password, and then my life was over essentially.
Okay, so my name's Luke, and this time last year I was seeing this lovely girl called Lydia, but unfortunately I was a bit of a dick and messed things up. So I'm going to travel back in time to July 2015 and not be a dick. So if you're watching this, let's have a beer, do some surfing. I'll do the surfing, you can have a beer. That'll work, so I'll see you around.
So my regret is that when I was 15, I used to pretend that I didn't like my dad's dancing, when actually I didn't care at all. In fact, I found it quite endearing, but some part of me thought I needed to play the role of hating my dad's dancing. So I used to tell him off in this sassy way that wasn't even really me. And he would get really disappointed and go and sit in a corner and refuse to dance. So I'd really like my dad to dance because I don't find it embarrassing at all.
I would go to the Middle Ages because you can just throw food to pigs if you don't eat it.
I'm going to head back to about 1979. I'm going to have a word with my father. I'm going to suggest to him that he doesn't send my brother and I away to boarding school because we're too young and we'll never know each other as we might have done, because I'm now 47 and I'm a stranger to my family because I left them when I was 9. And that's a shame.
So, have you seen the dinosaurs?
Yeah.
Say to the time of dinosaurs.
Daddy hole.
No. Say again, time of dinosaurs?
Daddy hole.
But you can't quite say dinosaur.
Allora dei dinosauri?
Loris is ready to go to the dinosaurs era.
To the dinosaurs.
If I could travel back in time, I wouldn't mess up with losing my son, and I wouldn't feel so suicidal. Again, I'm so sorry for everyone, but that's exactly what I'll do. I will not mess up for my son. End of story. I love my son so much, and I miss him a lot. He's in care.
If I could go back in time, I would probably go back to my first day of year 8 where I met Georgia, and I would punch her in the face and tell her that from the future I know she's going to end up as a washed up college student. She might have good boobs at age 12, but that's all she's got.
If I were to go back in time, I'd go back to see a friend who passed away without me being able to say goodbye.
I regret helping someone with their nosebleed when I was in primary school, and coming out of the toilet, taking the bloody tissues and putting them into my arch enemy's lunchbox.
I wish I could go back to the maths lesson in 2008. Julian called me a nerd and I cried in class. And I should have been proud of being a nerd because being a nerd is awesome. It's not a bad thing.
I'm going back to 1999 to my grandma's house, and this time around when she tells me off, I'm not going to put TCP in her eye drops as revenge.
Hello. I'm not sitting on this lovely chair because, well, in my country it gives a very big unlucky in life. So I'm not gonna do it. Yeah, it's my 5 minutes. Good. Any more questions?
The thing that I would change is I would go back to year 11 when I had a really bad cold and my lips were really swollen and sore, and I asked my dad to find me some Vaseline for them. He went to the shed, got a really horrible rusty can and told me to use that, and I was like, what the fuck, no, I'm not using that, it's gross. But he was like, stop being a wimp and just put it on your lips. So I got a little bit, put it on my lips. Next morning I woke up hugely swollen and red, really, really sore. I rang my mum and asked her what the fuck was in the tin, and she said that was the Vaseline she used to use for cleaning our horse's dick, and I got an STI from a horse.
I wish I could turn back time to every single moment where I thought that what was given to me was insufficient and was grateful for what I had instead.
I'd go to the Victorian period because I could change that women get the vote.
If I could travel back in time, I'd go back to August 2013 and I would, show myself now to prove that everything is actually worth it and that, I was something.
Alright, so I'd like to go back to 1999 to when my brother pointed a hermit crab to me and told me it tasted like burgers and chips and told me to eat it. And I'd like that not to happen.